Ray Latif, the managing editor of BevNet. I'm also the producer of our podcast, Taste Radio. How many people here listen to Taste Radio? Raise your hand. Great. Those of you that haven't yet checked it out, go ahead and go to tasteradio.com. We've got great interviews, conversations with industry leaders, tastemakers. We try to make it fun, engaging, informative. It's really a great resource for all entrepreneurs at all stages. And yeah, let us know what you think. So we've reached the final round of the new Beverage Showdown. Once again, the Showdown, which is sponsored by Venturing and Emerging Brands, an operating unit of the Coca-Cola Company, gives early-stage and promising brands an opportunity to present their business plans and products to a panel of expert judges and the audience here at BevNet Live. The winner of the two-day competition will receive $10,000 in prizes and join a short list of brands that have triumphed in the Showdown, including Health-Ade, Malk, Tio Gazpacho, Coco Cafe, Owl's Brew, and Grady's Cold Brew. Out of the 12 semifinalists that presented yesterday, 6 have made it to the finals. Let's talk about this round the rules for this round. Each of the 6 brands will have 5 minutes to present and receive 5 minutes of immediate feedback from the judging panel. The final round is split up into a morning session, this session, and an afternoon session, with 3 brands presenting in each. After all the brands have presented, the judges will convene, and the winner will be announced later today at the end of the show. Just a note, there will be no audience voting in the final round. Let's introduce our esteemed judges. To my immediate left, we have Paula Grant, who's the founder of Flood Creative, an award-winning design agency that's worked with several iconic brands, including Fuse, Core Water, and Body Armor. Next, we have Jim Murphy, who's the vice president of strategic and venturing for VEB, an operating unit of the Coca-Cola Company, which is focused on identifying and nurturing brands with billion-dollar potential. Next up, we have Gigi Lee Chang, who's an entrepreneur and investor who co-founded organic food company Plum Organics and is a managing partner with BFY Capital, which provides growth capital for better-for-you consumer companies. And a man who needs only one introduction, one name, that's John Craven, the CEO and founder of BevNet.
Thanks.
All right, first up, Adam Jones from Peloton. Come out. Coming in hot. All right.
What button do I press?
This one right here. And you got your timer right here.
Sounds good. How's it going, everybody? If you weren't here yesterday, my name is Adam, and I'm the owner of Drink Peloton along with my brother Dave. First off, I want to thank everybody for the love and the feedback that you all gave us yesterday when we were doing our tasting. It's pretty awesome to hear how much you guys all like the product. We ended off yesterday's conversation with sustainability and how sustainability is very important to us. So I wanted to start off today with showing you a video that we took when we were in Honduras to explain the sustainability aspects. So enjoy.
Estamos aquí en una de las fincas de café, viendo cómo normalmente se procesa la cáscara de café o pulpa, como nos llamamos aquí en Honduras. De cada 100 libras de café, 80 son desperdicio. Y eso, la cáscara, está acumulando nada más la pulpa aquí. En la manera que lo está haciendo ahorita no es una manera sostenible, aunque se puede utilizar como fertilizante, pero necesita agregar más elementos para poderlo usar. Pero aún cuando nosotros la utilicemos en la finca, hay toneladas de esto que se desperdicia. Nosotros podemos usar esta misma cáscara para hacer té o otro tipo de bebidas, algún otro tipo de postres incluso. Quiero agradecer a Peloton por esta oportunidad que nos dan de comercializar la cáscara. Esto va a ayudar a muchas familias a tener ingresos extra y para poderle dar sostenibilidad a la finca de café. Y quiero agradecerle a Dios por esta oportunidad, porque todo es posible, porque su mano poderosa está en esta comunidad. Gracias.
So thank you. That's a video we did, and I mean, that video still gives me chills, and I was actually there. It's pretty awesome, and it's so cool to see what's going on in these farmers' lives. So a lot of people ask, what is cascara? They think it tastes like coffee because it's called the coffee fruit. Cascara is the skin that surrounds the coffee bean, but it does not taste like coffee at all. When it's dried out, it has a very fruit-forward taste. Our original, I like to say, has a little bit of a vanilla note with a nice lemon finish, and it tastes like a delicious tea. Cascara has a lot of benefits. I'm sure you heard yesterday from Bevy and some other people that Cascara is a very beneficial product with a lot of health benefits. So it is packed with antioxidants. The fruit itself is 8 times the antioxidants of blueberries. Obviously, once it's pasteurized and all that, it's not as much. It's also known as a nootropic. A nootropic it helps with brain boosting benefits for health, memory, and things like that with your brain. And it also has immunity benefits because the antioxidants are derived from chlorogenic acid, which helps with immunity, weight loss, and inflammation. So like you guys saw, strengthening the coffee communities, and that's one of the greatest parts, I believe. I mean, as well as we're donating to Charity Water, which provides clean drinking water to families in need. That's the end of the PowerPoint, but I did want to get into a little bit more about us. So we launched Cascara Tea 1 month ago. Within that month, we've landed into KHE Fast Track Program and UNFI's Fast Track Program, putting us into a total of 11 warehouses, as well as we picked up some DSD distribution in Boston, Massachusetts area, and we have a meeting next week with a very large DSD distributor out on the West Coast. We have Cascadia Managing Brands helping us right now with doing a lot of our sales and stuff, and also Epic and Wildfire. We are priced at $275 to $299, keeping us under that $3 price point, which in my eyes, if you have something under $3, you really don't think twice about picking it up. And the name. Everybody was always, the name. I got a lot about that yesterday. So when we started Peloton Cold Brew Coffee, I was a huge cyclist. We were going to call the company Cup of Jones. Cup of Jones, I was out on a bike ride one day. Our last name's Jones, by the way. And I was like, that's really hard to brand. How am I going to brand that? And I thought, every big brand is normally one word, easy to say, and catchy. Well, I'm a cyclist, Peloton. Join the pack was our slogan. If you don't know what a Peloton is, it's a pack of riders that all draft behind each other to get to the finish line. And with community and people together and a pack, we can all win. Thank you. And Ray wanted this hat, so there you go.
Thanks. You can actually keep it on for a sec because we're going to... Oh, great. Going to stick around. The judges may have some questions for you, but I will take that hat afterwards. Thank you. All right. As we mentioned yesterday, Cascara is still kind of an emerging concept. There's a lot of different names for it. What do you think of Peloton's approach to calling it a Cascara tea, John?
I mean, it's probably where it's going to end up at retail, so I think, putting tea on there makes sense. It sort of follows what, some of the yerba mate guys, figured out eventually. I think, look, I mean, it's one of these products that it's been around for a while. It's in Starbucks, et cetera. It still seems like there just isn't enough awareness, which only point with that is just as, a small company, you're still going to be out there as like an educator, right? And, I think that's a challenge that I wonder, how much of a hurdle that is. I mean, the product does, it tastes great, love the story, love the look of the brand, although I guess Peloton's also an expensive, exercise bike too, right? So
We do own the trademark for the beverage application, just so you know.
Sure. So
Okay. Gigi, as John mentioned, a lot of education that's going to be required for it. Adam talked about sustainability, upcycling. He also talked about the functional benefits. What do you think is the strongest attribute, and where do you think they should be hitting on?
It is hard just because I think there is a lot of education around it, but as John mentioned, I always feel that when you see one and then you see three, that's actually a good thing. So the fact that Starbucks is doing it and there's other small brands, it's just going to be a question of how you get to market, how you really differentiate yourself. I personally, when I saw your name, I understand you have the trademark for the beverage category, but I think it's going to be tough.
Jim, in terms of the tastes and the varieties that you tried here today, what do you think about Peloton, the taste, the formulation?
I like it. I'm a tea drinker, so it makes a lot of sense for me. And I think you might have opportunities because consumers aren't as clear on what the product is and when you consume it. But For example, this would be great over ice, and it would be great with food, or you start the imagery of with a slice of lime and, a glass that's condensing to get at the fact that this really does, quench your thirst and it's refreshing.
To the design expert, what do you think of the label and packaging, Walla?
I'm wondering how much caffeine is in it.
33 milligrams of caffeine, so it's the equivalent of a cup of green tea.
Okay, so I feel like on the packaging, it's very coffee-esque language, which is interesting because I think there's the coffee tea world. It maybe should be pushed a little bit more towards tea. I'm losing the benefits. I'm thinking that I don't really know what cascara tea is, but if I see on shelf there's antioxidants, there's this much caffeine, there's this many calories, and I know you have it on there, but it's not big enough for me. It's not enough of a benefit. So I think if you were to push that out a little bit more and give me a reason to buy it, that it's very stylish. You put a lot of thought into what you're doing. The quality is there, and it's very pretty. But I'd like to see those benefits pop out, and I might grab it even if I don't know what the tea is.
Thank you very much.
Jim, we got about 30 seconds left, and I wanted to ask Adam, I showed that great video that showed the sustainability and, upcycling of coffee fruit. How important is that for brands going forward? What component is that, or what component should that play in a brand like Peloton?
I mean, I think it's going to be critical for all beverages, and particularly with the new one, to have the angle that makes people understand what they're consuming, where it's coming from, and if there's a feel-good factor. I think, that's the great thing about coffee and tea. So I think the answer is it is important. I think the key for you when you're starting out and you know that this is going to be a big category is differentiation. So if your story there, honestly, I would put a bicycle on there with Peloton, because people are going to say, oh, that's the one with the bicycle on it or something. So that you anticipate the crowd coming, so people are going to be able to have more things to associate with you. So it's a bicycle, it's the cool farming video and that sort of thing.
Awesome. Great feedback. Well done, Adam.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you.